and private healthcare system will result in an increase of approximately 80 patient beds.
It has been taking its toll on us.
Individual, community, family responsibility is key.
System finding it difficult to accommodate COVID-19 patients. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Morning Edition. And as always, it's great to have you in our company. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis acknowledged that the Princess Margaret Hospital is seeing a dramatic increase in the use of health services by more critically ill patients as well as social cases. He says these factors prompted government to make sizable non-budgeted financial investments to utilize privately owned facilities to mitigate the spread of COVID-19. Here's Altavis Munnings.
The Prime Minister painted the grim picture of the Princess Margaret Hospital's bed capacity. With 430 inpatient beds, an exponential growth in healthcare costs, strengthening infection prevention and control practices, coupled with adhering to social distancing requirements, were the common denominators that led to a reduction in the hospital's overall bed complement. He referenced 33 elderly patients who are now permanently staying at the hospital as boarders and cost $491 per day, or $6 million per year. He said many of these patients have comorbidities that make them vulnerable to viral infections. He maintains they should not be in proximity to high-trafficked areas frequented by those with communicable diseases. As the Princess Margaret Hospital approaches capacity and bed availability, the Prime Minister indicated that a Public Hospitals Authority assessment team will seek alternate accommodations to relocate those boarders, with final recommendations from the Ministries of Health and Social Services. And given the exponential increase in confirmed cases of COVID-19 requiring intervention, Super Club's Breezes Resort in Cable Beach will house a new national COVID-19 response facility.
The plan is to utilize the east building of the hotel as a national response facility to meet the needs of non-COVID-19 low medical care patients during this pandemic. And this facility will accommodate both employees that are attending the patients on one floor and clinical and management operations on other floors. Security services will be provided by the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, supplemented by the Public Hospital Authority contracted security firm. This facility will be up and running very shortly.
Government will only cover utility costs while the National Response Facility is operational. The hospital's relocation of boarders and the establishment of the off-site National Response Facility is expected to make more beds available to accommodate COVID-19 patients at the hospital.
Doctors Hospital West is also increasing its bed capacity to help address the need. The combined strategy to increase bed capacity in the public and private healthcare systems will result in an increase of approximately 80 patient beds at this time. On Grand Bahama, the Cancer Society building was retrofitted to house infectious disease, those type of patients, including COVID-19 patients. In addition, a new unit is being constructed on the Rand Memorial Hospital facility. As it relates to Grand Bahama and all other family islands, if the need arises, individuals will continue to be airlifted to New Providence, where the increased capacity has been prepared for the care of such patients.
Meanwhile, the South Beach Clinic will be used to address mild to moderate COVID-19 cases, and the Princess Margaret Hospital and Doctors Hospital West will treat moderate to severe cases. And add to that, a new contact tracing center at the Melia Nassau Beach All-Inclusive Resort.
This center will strengthen the surveillance unit's ability to identify new cases and contacts, and to intervene with the appropriate measures. health officials anticipate an increase in the number of new cases over a short period of time. A decrease in new cases is anticipated once all new cases and contacts have been identified. It is important that members of the public cooperate fully and honestly if they are contacted by the surveillance unit. Your responsible behavior can help reduce the spread of COVID-19 in the Bahamas.
Altavi's Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Meantime, those COVID-19 cases still surging across the Bahamas, with the country recording one more death from the virus, pushing the overall death count from COVID-19 to 15. Hospitalization of COVID-19 patients also now up to 35. On Sunday, there were 20 new cases, with 15 in Grand Bahama and 5 right here in New Providence. Bimini now has 45 confirmed cases, and Eleuthera recorded its first COVID-19 case. Overall, the COVID-19 figures nationwide has now climbed to 898. Over the weekend, Eleuthera, or the island of Freedom, recorded its first case of the coronavirus, news that residents on that island feared and didn't expect for many months. North Eleuthera Member of Parliament Ricky Mackey says a team of stakeholders comprising of health officials, police, and chief councillors of the North Eleuthera district sprung into action to map out a stringent COVID-19 plan to keep the numbers of the deadly virus at bay.
The purpose of that meeting was how to mitigate or to stop further community spread of this virus. As you can imagine, there was much fear in reference to the announcement of this recorded case of COVID-19. However, we believe with the strict enforcement of the protocols as it relates to COVID-19, we will be able to stop further community spread.
Additionally, Mackey says there has also been some contentious discussions on whether or not the ferryboat service operations between Spanish Wells, Harbor Island, and the mainland of Eleuthera should continue due to the increase in panic and fears by residents.
It was a consensus by those a part of this meeting that with strict enforcement of protocols, the wearing of masks, the social distancing, that these measures would be sufficient enough to stop community spread. We are perfectly aware of the varying views as to how to deal with COVID-19. There are those whose fear is so great that they would wish us to shut down entirely. And then there are those who are faced with the harsh reality of having to take care of their families and to meet the commitments of bills.
And more details coming in from the health front regarding contact tracing efforts being beefed up along with other initiatives as the nation continues on the offensive against COVID-19. Lloyd Allen spoke to the Deputy Chief Medical Officer on those initiatives.
Because we noticed a challenge with the contact tracing and just with the large number of cases and their contacts, it just was more than was coming in on a daily basis than we had before. So what we have done is we've recruited additional persons from other parts of our health sector. So we pulled in additional nursing staff and administrative personnel. We've also gone outside of the Ministry of Health, and we've gone to National Health Insurance, and they supplied us with a number of individuals. And so now persons are able to, we have multiple people calling and, trying to get our hands around the entirety of the situation. And now we've moved to a digital platform where we're able to have the data entered, upon collection instead of having to do it in 2 steps. So that's definitely speeding up our efforts as well.
And also a number of expanded clinical facilities announced on Sunday by the PM to treat persons with COVID-19 or suspected cases. The South Beach Clinic, PMH, Doctors Hospital West location, along with housing for those persons are at the Eastern Wing at the Breezers Hotel. Now, we talked last week about bed availability and cases possibly reaching capacity. Do beds make the difference, and are devices like ventilators and other treatment options still posing a challenge?
Beds are definitely an issue, and so, we announced that we had more than 30 people hospitalized just due to COVID-19. So in each of those instances, when you spread that across our healthcare system, it does become a bit of a challenge we have a chronic issue with bed shortages, so this only exacerbates that problem. So adding additional clinical facilities and beds within facilities is definitely is of crucial importance right now, and we're adding them as quickly as we can, and we're going to have to think of even more inventive ways to be able to take care of both the patients and our staff who are at the wheel at the moment 24/7 take care of these the nation's issues with people who are ill due to COVID-19 and need hospitalization. Ventilators have not become an issue so far. We have a reserve of ventilators that we have not reached our maximum capacity on that so far. So that is looking pretty good. But, we are also looking to source additional ones in case we do run into that issue. So for now, our supplies and equipment has not posed a challenge, but we are looking into the future to make sure that we have additional supplies so that we don't run into a problem.
The current national 2-week lockdown ends at 5 a.m. on Wednesday, August 19th, and during the period, residents have access to essential services like grocery stores, pharmacies, water depots, gas stations, urgent medical care, and post-hurricane construction. The Prime Minister announced during his national address on Sunday that normal commercial and social activity, including church services and opening of beaches in the Maikal district, Rumkey, and Ragged Island, will resume at 5 o'clock this morning.
The lockdown and curfew has been lifted for these islands because health officials have not recorded any suspected COVID-19 activity at these locations for at least 2 weeks. Though there are no confirmed cases on San Salvador, a travel-related swab is pending test results. Further assessment is required for this island before it can be given the all clear. Travel between the islands where the lockdown has been lifted will be permitted without the COVID-19 testing and 14-day quarantine requirements that are outlined in the emergency powers orders. The government, guided by the advice of health officials, will continue to monitor and assess COVID-19 developments on each island and determine on a case-by-case basis when it is safe to relax such measures.
Prime Minister Menes also quashing the debate about personal protective equipment, or PPEs, within the public healthcare system. He acknowledged that at the start of the pandemic, the Bahamas, like most countries worldwide, was faced with the realization that PPEs were among the most vital defenses in fighting the spread of the virus. He says the government has made the necessary investment in PPEs to ensure that all public healthcare workers are properly protected while performing their duties.
The inventory of PPEs are monitored daily. Key personnel within the Supplies Management Agency identify the quantities of each specific stock on hand, the amount distributed to each public health care site, as well as the quantity of new supplies received at our warehouses. I am advised that any temporary shortages within wards or units, when they occur, are short-lived, as the supplies management agencies use a top-up system that facilitates restocking as soon as inventory reaches a predetermined level.
Prime Minister Minnis also revealed that separate bi-weekly meetings will be held between himself, Ministry of Health officials, and representatives from the doctors and nurses unions from Health Emergencies Operations Center on all COVID-19 related matters. Government is now providing a $1 million per week to the National Food Distribution Task Force to ensure those who are truly in need of food are being helped. Prime Minister Minnis confirmed that as the food assistance program is entering its 11th week, over 27,000 households have registered for food assistance, representing more than 110,000 people nationwide. He emphasized that the National Food Distribution Task Force has begun to implement a needs-based program that will include the most vulnerable, moderate, and least vulnerable. And still to come, hear from doctors on the front line and how you can provide more help in the fight against COVID-19. You're watching The Morning Edition.
Hi, welcome to Dream Girls. We offer a wide variety of hair care, and your everyday beauty needs.
Here at Dream Girls, we carry a wide variety of products for natural or relaxed hair, such as ORS, Pure Care, and Shea Moisture. We also carry a large selection of weaving, braiding, and crochet hair. You can expect to find a private wig room, a large variety of products, and service with a smile. Whether you're shopping for a party, a corporate event, or your everyday working woman, Dream Girls can make your dream become a reality. Live your dream, experience your dream, Dream Girls.
We have 3 convenient locations to serve you: Village Road Shopping Center, Prince Charles Shopping Center, and Legacy Plaza located on Prince Charles next to BTC Cash and Go. Here at Dream Girls, enhancing beauty becomes your reality.
On the home front, many doctors on the front line are encouraging residents to continue to do their part to help stem the current wave of the COVID-19 pandemic across the Bahamas. Here's Catherine Gomez.
I like to see people move away from the conspiracy theories, move away from the misinformation, and just practice basic hand hygiene, social distancing, wearing a mask, things like that. It's not difficult.
With the increase of COVID-19 cases, health officials are urging Bahamians not to take the safety protocols lightly or be led by rumor or innuendo. Physiotherapist at PMH, Winston Dowes, says doctors and health staff are really overwhelmed at this time and are begging Bahamians to do their part to curb case numbers.
It has been taking its toll on us. We are stressed. As you can see, I've been pulling my hair out. But now that things have been spiking at this time, it has been adding more stress to it. So now we've had to be making more and more, taking more and more precautions just to deal with things on a day-to-day basis. So when we see people walking around without masks, without practicing good hand hygiene and social distancing, it really... It's irritating, quite frankly.
Physician and family practice certified health coach Dr. Misty Spencer-Prince says she commends the government and health officials for their quick action and for implementing strict health measures.
Death is such a permanent state when you're looking from this realm into the unknown. So whatever we can do to fight that tide, let's do. We have placed a lot of the responsibility of that on our government and the health officials. But again, individual, community, family responsibility is key.
Despite her scientific background, Spencer-Prince is spreading the message of hope and faith.
Wisdom is key. Okay? Wisdom is key. We need to be a wise people. Hand hygiene. When you look at it, that's what our foreparents instilled in us before. Wash your hands before you eat. Don't have dirty hands to your face. Do not put your hands to your face. These things are coming back to haunt us. And if we do these basic things, along with what we discussed earlier, how much further will we reach?
Catherine Gomez, ZNS Network News.
Many businesses across the capital and the nation's second city are equipped with temperature guns as a safety precautionary measure to detect persons who may be infected with the coronavirus before they enter their business. But are these pieces of equipment authentic and accurate? Well, the morning team spoke with a young Bahamian owner of touchless thermometer cameras and facial recognition software to find out.
What you pay for is what you get.
That's owner of Sunrise Communications, Ronnie Ferguson, touching on the reliability of temperature guns used by security guards set up at checking points in businesses around town. Like many other Bahamians, Ferguson, too, was a victim of false readings and had to conduct retests to calm his coronavirus fears. He says he believes not having the top-of-the-line devices is to blame.
From what I know, a lot of the businesses are purchasing them off of eBay and Amazon for maybe $20, $30 you can get a gun from. So if you're going to pay for a $20, $30 temperature gun, then the accuracy on that is very, very low. Reason being is a lot of companies are now popping up making these quick thermal temperature guns and whatnot, and they're putting them online for persons to buy. And so it's not where you're getting it from a authentic company who thermal gun will probably run you around $175, $200 for a really good one.
So to diminish customer anxiety, Ferguson is encouraging businesses to tap into purchasing state-of-the-art temperature infrared software his company has to offer.
When you walk inside Sunrise Communications, our devices are placed where where we're 6 feet away from the individual, and if the temperature reads abnormal, then they would have to leave the establishment. And so we want to encourage people to practice social distancing. Do not use those guns. Use equipment that keeps you not having to be in contact with the human element. We've had a number of government establishments as well as private sector who would have purchased our devices. Our devices are high-end. They come equipped with the latest technology in infrared as well as temperature measuring technology. Because of this pandemic, we don't want to, offer anything that's low end or that's cheap. We want to make sure the persons are getting the right reading, the right temperatures.
Ferguson says one of the initiatives his team plans to embark upon this new academic school term is to deploy new intelligent doorbell temperature measuring devices to stop the spread of COVID-19 in our public schools.
We're actually going to be donating them to any school that is interested in having a temperature, one of the new intelligent doorbells, temperature measuring devices. We are offering it at no charge to any school that is interested in getting that device to have when kids come back to school or if persons come to their establishment, they can have their temperatures checked without having the camera aspect.
Well, it's a great start to your Monday morning. Already dozens of drivers on the strip here on Blue Hill Road on the other side of the break. A look at weekend traffic as well as general tips to drivers staying on the right side of the law during lockdown.
Abuse, domestic violence, suicidal tendencies. Are you being stressed out from these problems? Call the national hotline at 422-2763 or 322-2763. There are trained social workers available 24 hours to help you. Know that you are not alone in this.
Motorists will be hitting the streets this morning as food stores, pharmacies, hardware stores, and service stations reopen following the weekend lockdown. Lloyd Allen and the traffic team is standing by on our streets. Take a look.
Traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Well, good morning again, LaDon. Good morning, Bahamas. Your first look at traffic coming in from Blue Hill Road. This morning we're joined by Corporal Patrick Kemp from the Royal Bahamas Police Force Traffic Division, who's initially giving us a look at weekend traffic.
Good morning, Mr. Lloyd. Good morning, Bahamas. Within the last 24 hours or so, we've experienced 3 accidents, one with injuries. And so far, then, that has been a pretty quiet weekend.
All right, so some great news coming in there. But of course, as we've observed so far this morning, many drivers are on the road. I imagine getting those important essentials. But one of those things I wanted to key in on, what happens when a driver happens to break down, their car stops operating or malfunctions on a major highway or thoroughfare like this? What should they do?
Well, excellent point, Mr. Lloyd. We do have an increased amount of traffic that's on the road as we speak. If for some reason your vehicle is disabled, there's a number of things that you can do. But one in particular that's very important I'll touch on. One of the things is you want to use your hazard lights. Some persons can be aware that there's a problem, that there's something going on there. A lot of persons, they tend to sit in their vehicles while their vehicles are disabled. I will ask those persons to come out, if you're able to assist with persons being aware that your vehicle is disabled. You will want to call for a tow truck immediately if you're not able to pull your vehicle to the side. And if it's coming close to curfew time on Island, very important, utilize the 311 number. Make the command center aware of your situation so that they can be aware that you're on the streets, so that the officers, when you're stopped, can be able to verify your reasons for being out. And that will limit you speeding to get to your destination and decrease the potential accidents that could happen.
Well, some important updates coming in from Officer Camp. Of course, streets continue to increase with traffic on this busy Monday morning, and hopefully it should flow smoothly for the rest of the day. Reporting here from Blue Hill Road for the morning edition, Lloyd Allen, ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Lloyd. Meantime, Charles Fisher continues his conversation this morning with high-ranking females from the Royal Bahamas Police Force who are making their mark in society. Here's her story.
She is part of that historic all-female squad enlisted in the Royal Bahamas Police Force back in 1983. Chief Superintendent Linda Moxie always wanted to serve the Bahamas.
We were like sisters. We got along very well. Even to the point, if someone wanted just a grease, just a gel, a comb, or a brush, it was no problem. I came out of school in 1982. I attended the AFR Senior High School. And I must say that I was employed for about 9 months at Solomon's Mines on Bay Street. And I wanted something better for myself. I know that I was determined to get an employment with government. And while in school, I took the entrance exam for the Royal Bahamas Police Force. I was unsuccessful. And a few months later, I took the exams again, and I was successful. And they contacted me, and here am I today.
37 years on the force, she is now commander of the Eastern Division. She is someone who has showed that she has leadership skills, having worked in most of the departments.
15 different departments within the Royal Bahamas Police Force. And 7 out of the 15, I took command of. I've worked in the Complaints and Corruption Branch, Police Prosecution, the Police Pay Office, the Airport, Police Control Room, Paradise Island, Central, East Street, South Wolf Road. There's so many. But my experience was rather a great one. And I must say that being in charge of the 7 areas, all of my peers, my staff, they respected me because I believe in respect. Respect goes two-way.
One may consider the Eastern Division a rough spot.
I don't describe this area as a rough area. It's relatively a quiet area. Sometimes we have crime. Since being employed here on the 5th of May this year, every week we do a walkabout, and plus we do road check. We must remember that our job does not stop. We're still mandated by law to continue to police the community. What we try to do, I have Sergeant Ali, she's in charge of the neighborhood watch. What we do, we try and visit all of our victims of crime to give them some assurance or whatever information they may have that can assist us in our investigation.
Now, since she joined the force back in 1983, there's been an influx of female officers.
I am not surprised to see a lot of females within the Royal Bahamas Police Force. The reason being because there's a need for females within the organization. It's not too many of us. Just about every career is in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. So I think this is a noble organization that all females should venture to be a part of. I will encourage females who are interested to be a part, because it's not only that you may be helping your community, but you may be helping your family as well.
And looking back after all these years, does she feel it was the right decision to join?
I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy. And I'm proud to be a member of this great organization that called the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
I'm sure Bahamians are proud of you as well. Keep up the good service. For the Morning Edition, I'm Charles Fisher.
Now to your weather forecast. A weak surface trough in the vicinity of the northwest Bahamas, along with a stationary upper-level trough across the central Bahamas, will continue to enhance shower activity over the area. For areas weather partly sunny, hot and humid, with a few scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms likely across the northwest and central Bahamas today. Weather mainly fair and warm tonight with a chance of isolated showers. The daytime high temperature is 91 degrees and overnight low temperature is 81 degrees. Now we want to thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. And that's a wrap for us this morning. For the entire morning team, I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great day and remember to be safe.